Wednesday.
We're going to have a big Christmas dinner after all. We've got potato knishes, gefilte fish, matzo ball soup, and brisket.
They're perfect strangers. Then the science project's gone sour.
What does it do?
It makes a certain gesture.
Head of the class after Perfect Strangers. Wednesday.
Balky, would you like to make a toast?
Yeah. Who wants whole wheat? Who wants rye?
Balky.
Okay. From all of us here at Perfect Strangers.
Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Sometimes the world looks perfect, nothing to rearrange. Sometimes you just get a feeling like you need some kind of change. No matter what the odds are this time, nothing's gonna stand in my way. This flame in my heart, like a long lost friend, gives every dark street a light at the end. Standing tall on the wings of my dream, rise and fall on the wings of my dream. Through the rain and thunder, the wind and haze, I'm bound for better days. My life, my dream, nothing gonna stop me now. My life, my dream, nothing gonna stop me now. Nothing gonna stop me now.
Sitcom, are ye faithful? A Christmas podcast special where again I discuss 25 Christmas sitcom episodes. Please come and listen every day until Christmas. I'm sure we'll feature Balky, Gilligan, and Young Webster, Rose Nyland, Eric Foreman, and definitely Mork. We'll definitely talk about Mork.
Happy Tuesday, everybody, and welcome back to Sitcom, all ye faithful, where today I am here talking about the 1980s and early 1990s hit sitcom Perfect Strangers. Oh my. When I think of Perfect Strangers, a couple things come to mind. First of all, probably Balky saying, "Don't be ridiculous." Balky golfing, Balky bowling, mostly Balky. But I think of Goes on Larry also. And this is 1986. This is the second season of this show, which I'm pretty sure I just watched, almost, I can't say I watched it all the way through. That is a lie, because I remember the later seasons when all of a sudden they were all married and all lived in a house together, that I wasn't watching that season. So there are story arcs of Larry and Balky and Marianne and Jennifer that I don't know about. What I remembered is that they worked at a newspaper and the women were flight attendants. What I didn't remember is they didn't work in the newspaper early on. This episode is from the show's second season, but really it's like an extended of their first season, because the first season was only 6 episodes, including an unaired pilot. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, not including an unaired pilot. So there were 6 episodes in the first season that just went from 86 to 86. And then in the fall, it came back in 86 for really like, it's okay, we're a show now. We're a hit. Here we go. Perfect Strangers. Boom. And then they come back for a second season where, they had a full length of, sitcom episodes, 22 episodes, which is, I don't even know if some sitcoms still do the 22 episode in series. They must. 22, I don't know how it came to be. That 22 episodes, 22 weeks of shows, including, breaks and summer and, weeks off here and there. But 22 weeks became kind of the given at some point for the American situational comedy. But this is the first Christmas show of the first true long season of Perfect Strangers. And at this point, it seems like Larry and Balky are, happy to live together. If I remember correctly, because there was a promo I watched on YouTube, Balky just showed up on Larry's door, right? And Larry was kind of reluctant to have him in the first place. One of the things I loved about this show is the theme song, obviously, standing tall on the wings of my dreams, or wings of my dreams, or something like that. Rise and fall. Just one of those sappy 80s sitcoms that cut together a bunch of clips from the show, like most notably Balky and Kozan Larry on the roof of some building in the wind or something like that. In the wind, I remember that. But in this first 2 seasons, the opening credits were basically a prequel to Perfect Strangers. It shows Larry, Kozan Larry, shows him leaving his parents' house, his like leaving in a hurry. He's like getting in the car, his wife's kissing him, his mom's kissing him goodbye. At first I thought, who are these people? Because this is a grown man. Larry Appleton, Marklin Baker's in his 30s already, I think, at this point. And he's waving goodbye like he's going off to college, getting in his car. His little sister, who his parents must have been an accident baby, one of those oops babies. His little sister's saying goodbye, his parents are saying goodbye, he gets in a car. Meanwhile, we freaking go over to Meepos, and Balky is getting on like a turnip farm truck or something. Literally the turnip truck. And he's like, has a sign that says America or bust. And that's enough to get him. I don't know how he got there. It looked like he was on a steamer ship. I don't know if he was in if he had to pay a coyote, I don't know what they're coyotes, to get you over the American border. I don't know what palms he had to grease, but he got to see the Statue of Liberty, and then I guess hitchhike his way to Chicago from New York. He eventually gets there to live with Balky, but it's, the first, I liked seeing this long, and it was 1.5 minutes. I mean, this was the full friggin' song. I'm surprised there wasn't like a guitar solo, interludes. I mean, this thing went on for a while to really tell you the story. Okay, get it? This guy's off to live in the big city. This guy's coming from some some made up country with some made up accent. And, okay, they put them together. They're family, but they're strangers, and they're perfect together. Get it? So the show stars Bronson Pinchot as Balky Bartakamoose. I never heard of no Balky Bartakamoose. And Marklin Baker as Kozan Larry Appleton. They are the main stars of this show, and in this episode, they make up about 90% of screen time. Bronson Pinchot, I don't think it was until I saw him in, I forgot he was in Beverly Hills Cop. And I had no idea he was in Risky Business. I did see him in True Romance, and I remember thinking at one point, wait, Bronson Pinchot doesn't have an accent? Like he's got an American accent? Is that happening right now? And I just had no idea that he was American. And I'm thinking like, wow, this guy is the greatest actor the American people have ever seen. And, he was. Like, I'm not sure why he didn't do bigger things. Like, the guy still works. Today, he's still working. There's a Mysterious Benedict Society. Was that a Netflix show? He was on an episode of that. He was on a bunch of episodes of The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina. He's been in if you look on his IMDb, 2022, episode, this. Just working, consistently working for years. He was in Ray Donovan? I had no idea. He was in an episode of Chuck. Oh, that was a great show a million years ago. Just the guy has been working for a while, or, for a good long time. The same thing for Cousin Larry, Marklin Baker. I mean, he's on Ghosts right now. He was on She-Hulk. I remember seeing him in a couple episodes of Succession. The dude has been working. He's been on Blue Bloods. He's been on Red Oaks. I've heard of that show. He was in The Leftovers for a couple episodes. The guy has just been consistently doing things for years. There was a show called Twins. What the hell is that? 2005 to 2006, he was on an 18 episode of Twins. Sarah Gilbert, Molly Stanton. Is it supposed to be like two fraternal twins who have nothing in common? Wow, that was a show. Holy shit. With Melanie Griffith? Okay, I had no idea. But I told you, he's been working. And that was only in 2005? What the hell? I have no recollection of that ever happening in my life. I feel like I just went into a different dimension. So I'm 12 minutes in and I haven't talked at all about this episode. Couple other things. Oh yes, and I'm still haven't talked about it. Perfect Strangers. If we didn't have Perfect Strangers, there's a good chance that we wouldn't have Steve Urkel, because Harriet Winslow, when Cousin Larry and Balky went to work at a newspaper, the elevator operator was Harriet Winslow. Carl Winslow was in an episode, and then Harriet got her own show with her family, and Urkel took over. And that's where we get Urkel. So we can thank Balky for Urkel. And I'm sure there was a crossover. Maybe there wasn't, but it seemed like they was ripe for a crossover. And then they both moved to Friday nights for TGIF. Oh, TGIF. The gift they kept on giving for years. But now let's talk about this episode, this specific episode. It starts off in the Ritz discount shop, which is where Larry and Balky work. And somehow they afford a pretty nice apartment right upstairs, but okay, maybe he owns the building. Their boss really doesn't want to be there. He's upset with his wife that they spent $100 on meat for these people, and Larry's totally in the Christmas series, in the Christmas spirit. I remember thinking his name was Gordon because he was calling him Gozan. I thought he was calling him Golden, but he was calling him Gozan. Larry's totally in the Christmas spirit. Balky is getting into the Christmas spirit because this is his first Christmas away from home. And their boss reluctantly ends up giving them a Christmas bonus because it was the wife who gave him the Christmas bonus. The boss didn't want to do it. And they pretty much say that she punched him in the face, gave him a black eye, which, is spousal abuse. But okay, I mean, he didn't want to give Balky and Larry their money. That is not very nice. So they're upstairs in their apartment and they're all excited to go to Madison. They can't wait because this is the year that Larry's going to be the Christmas boy. He's one of 9 children, and every year the Christmas boy, whoever it is, and even his sister could be the Christmas boy. And I think they hand out the gifts, and I really think that's all they do. But they're all excited to be going. They're all excited. They can't wait. They're going to Madison. Madison, Wisconsin. The snow's better in Madison. The gifts are better. Everything's better in Madison. Balky can't wait to be there. And then Marianne and Jennifer come in. And you have to remember, these are two women who are flight attendants. And they are both way out of Larry and Balky's league. But already they're together. I thought it took a while. I thought they were neighbors who were friends. Maybe I'm just like oversimplifying things, but there was a mistletoe scene where Larry gives Marianne, the Balky's girlfriend, a little smooch on the lips, for future wife. And then he totally makes out with Jennifer. Then Balky, under the mistletoe, because he loves this new tradition, he wants to bring the mistletoe with him. He wants it up all year, even though Larry told him it only works around Christmas time. He gives Jennifer a nice little peck on the cheek, and then Marianne makes out with him, dips him and makes out with him. They're like, this is crazy. And they're off to go skiing in the slopes. I think wherever they're going for their flight is skis. There's skiing involved, and Marianne, it's going to be snowing, and Marianne heard it, skiing is better with snow. Remember, she's the dumb one, and that was kind of funny. And so they left, and it's really snowing out there. They're about to leave, and Larry calls the airport. Hello, airport. I want to make sure the flight to Madison is still on the docket. And nope, the whole airport has been snowed in. And then my thought was, well, then where did the girls go? Because aren't they flight attendants? I might have missed something. But I thought, okay, these girls are flying off to go do something in the snow. But how can they leave if it's snowing and the flights are closed? That thought never crosses anyone's mind. So maybe I missed the line that they weren't flying out. But Larry immediately gets on the phone and tries to call a bus depot. The buses are all closed. Then he tries to call a plow place to rent a plow. That's all closed. Then they're like, wait a second, we can just take our own car. They go out to his car. He's got these fancy snow tires on. He spent $300 on snow tires. And there's like 2 inches of snow on the ground. And this car isn't moving. Luckily, they're stalled right in front of a place that sells Christmas trees. So Balky's like, look, you can't get the Christmas spirit because Larry is like, I got to see my family. I got to see them. And he's all upset. And he says, you can't, if you're not going to, have the Christmas spirit or not have Christmas with your family, we can at least have Christmas here. It's Christmas Eve. And all the good trees are gone. In fact, there's only one tree left and it's in the garbage. And they knock on this trailer and the guy just lives there. He's like, oh, don't live with your mother-in-law. Apparently he lives in this trailer full time selling Christmas trees 1 month out of the year. He tells them, just take this tree because it's garbage. You can have it. I want to go back inside. It's cold. Larry's totally not into it. So he's like, you know what? I'm going to go for a walk. And he goes off for a sad sack walk. Balky goes home and with the tree. Larry gets home and Balky decorated everything. He set up the tree. It looks sad, but he set it up with a bunch of decorations that he took from the discount store downstairs. He's dressed up as Santa. He was hiding in the closet. He pops out. He's like, I'm here. He's tries to get Larry in the mood. Larry's not in the mood. Larry's being a bit of a dick. And even Balky rips off. He goes, look, I've made all these wonderful food items. I think he named whatever food was left. I think it was all Hanukkah food. But that clip was in the opening of the episode. I actually found the promo for the Christmas episode on YouTube. So that was, I loved that I found that. I looked for them sometimes. Sometimes I just find ones at least in the same year. But to find the one for this specific episode was great. Larry's totally not in the mood. And Balky's like, look, dude, okay? This is you I'm away from my whole family in the country. I'm away from a whole different country. And you told me it's good to look forward to what's forward. And you can't even do that yourself. And he just kind of guilts him, makes him feel bad. And he takes off his it's kind of funny. He takes off his Santa coat and he's got a cushion, a couch cushion under it. So how he made himself look jolly and fat. And he then basically, he's like, can we at least, let's do gifts. Can we do gifts? Larry's like, fine, I'll give you your gift. he gives him a gift, and it's a boombox with a Wayne Newton tape. He's like, "Oh my God, you read my letter to Santa." He's like, "Yeah, I did. I'm sorry. I'm going to try to be better." And then he opens up his gift, and it's a blanket. And it's a blanket that is homemade. And Larry's like, What is this? He goes, "I made this. Every day since you took me in from America, I would stay up. When you go to bed, I'd stay up and work on this 1 hour every single night." Larry is like really touched by this. He's like, "Oh my God, I can't believe this. It's beautiful." He says, "When I was a kid, I was at the age when, my dad buying gifts for me to give to my mom. It didn't feel right anymore. So I made my mom something, and it didn't come out great. But she, she said it's the nicest gift she's ever gotten. And I never understood that until now. Balky, this is the nicest gift anyone's ever gotten me." And he says all this stuff about me not being with family and friends, or, being away from it. He goes, "It's, that's not right, because I'm with you." He gives him a hug. And when he gives him the hug, the Christmas tree, on the lights on the Christmas tree work. And then they hear kids singing out in the, singing Christmas carols, and Christmas is saved. And that's it. That's the episode. It was fun, but it felt small. There's a show, and this is completely unrelated to Christmas, to this sitcom, anything. But like, I would watch shows like Futurama, or right now I'm watching the new season of Rick and Morty. And I'm always like, I can't believe how much story they fit into, 22 minutes, 23 minutes of show. How many things happen, how many twists and turns. It almost feels like an epic tale had happened, and it's just one episode of a show. And you see a sitcom like this, and it's just so much smaller. I'm like, wait, they leave the party, they want to go away, their girlfriends go away, they can't go away, they try to drive, they can't drive. Balky gets a tree, he decorates, Larry is sad, Larry gets happy, Merry Christmas, the end. And yet it worked. There's a little filler of like at one point Balky is watching a show and he goes, "That's not an angel, that's Little Joe from Gunsmoke, is it?" Which is make a joke at Michael Landon, who is Highway to Heaven. There's just little things that, here and there, like him talking about his family. And I don't want to be the, if I'm not the Christmas boy this year, I have to wait 9 years to do it. But it was still enjoyable. I liked it. It was fun to see. This episode is completely free to watch on Freevee. I will put a link to it in the show notes. Freevee is, Amazon's free commercial-based streaming service. Used to be IMDb TV. Freevee is a better name. There's actually a show on there that I really like called Sprung, that is by the guy who did Raising Hope and My Name is Earl, and it has some of the Raising Hope actors on it. I highly suggest that. Greg Garcia. But it has a lot of old shows too, and they're free to watch. And yeah, there's commercials, but they're not many. In fact, I think there was only one commercial break in this 22-minute episode. I don't know how they did that back in 1986. If there was only, one break, that doesn't seem right. Maybe between the end credits there was something, but I was expecting at least a second one, but no. I think that's it. I think I did it. I think I covered everything I want to cover with this episode. 6 days in. We have less than 20 to go now. But that still leaves a lot of room for a lot of Christmas sitcoms. And we have yet to hit a repeat from last year. I wonder if I can go the first 10 without hitting a repeat. Of course I can. I wonder if I will. But I'm also been here alone a lot, so I'm hoping to get some of my guests from last year to be on the show soon. I have to reach out to them and make sure they are available and see what shows they would like to watch. Sorry guys, Perfect Strangers is already off the list. Okay, I think that's it. Will we be back tomorrow? Of course we will. Don't be ridiculous. Until then, my friends, you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Geek Mentality. The Facebook page is Fans Not Experts, and the website is fansnotexperts.com. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for subscribing. Have a wonderful Tuesday. And until tomorrow, my friends, here is my theme song. This is my podcast. I made it. Geek Mentality's what I named it. And I think you should listen and subscribe. 'Cause I'm kinda funny and awesome. I think that I'm worth your time. And I'm kinda handsome. My mom says, please listen and please subscribe. At least listen to this episode.
Fans Not Experts.
Don't be ridiculous.